Merry Christmas, everybody. I got a new chair. And it even came with a massager. I wonder how it works. Oh my.
DeadHatz.
Everyone's Christmas went well, I hope. This was supposed to come out on Christmas, but stuff happened and that is not the case anymore. So, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever people celebrate nowadays. But this is, I guess, post-Christmas. I'm still wearing the hat and I'm still going to wear the sweater. Just because that's what I wanted to do. So I'm sure many of you are aware of Remy Abode, the creator of Gemini Home Entertainment. I'd actually be more surprised if you hadn't heard of him before, because seeing as you found my way to my very obscure channel, I'm sure you probably already have a bit of knowledge in this field. Gemini Home Entertainment is analog horror, kind of web series that is very successful. It is doing very well numbers-wise. Up there with Local 58, I'd say, in quality on like how to do your analog horror. Covered other projects of his before, Morley Grove. Check it out, the top corner. But back on track. I actually found out that Remy actually had a different project that predates Gemini Home Entertainment. And it has a lot of similarities with it, including a lot of reused names, although he has confirmed that it is actually not canon or like not connected to the Gemini Home Entertainment universe. So just take that with a bit of grain of salt. I know many of you who are fans of that are going to see a bit of nods and Easter eggs. But keep in mind, this came first, and it is not connected to Gemini Home Entertainment. And what is this project exactly? Well, that's going to be Warding12. That's what it goes by a lot, even though the actual channel name is 9 to Nightfall, which is the channel that's posting all this. They actually have two videos, one short one and one that is currently unlisted. I don't know if it was always unlisted. It could have started off not unlisted, but I only found a version that was unlisted on the channel. And those are the only two videos I could find. If there was other content on the channel, I didn't find it. So these are the only two videos I know of on this channel. If you have more, please share. I searched for quite a while, but I think it really does only have two uploads, one public, one private. But let's just go ahead and go through the first video, the public one. It's a very short video. The only video on it being labeled home videotape labeled Timberman in permanent marker. That's the name of the actual video. And it's a short little video showing a lot of rural landscape. If you've seen Gemini Home Entertainment, you're pretty familiar with this until the very end when well, you see this. And that's where you can see this little guy, well, not little, he's towering over the city. Where this has in the Warding12 story, I still don't know. This creature is just something that exists in that universe, I suppose. From what I'm judging from the title, that's the Timberman mentioned on the permanent marker on the tape, but this video isn't really that important. I didn't really see many connections between it and Warding12, but I'm sure it's connected in some way. Just doesn't seem very important in the grand landscape of things. So I think that was more of like a little teaser of what was Warding12, which I swear I really think it was public at one time before it went unlisted. Warding12 seems like a TV channel or programming on the city of Warding. That's where this takes place. Or is it a county? It's one of those. That's basically where this entire story takes place. But let's see what's on the TV. Let's see. They got a lot of good programs on this channel. We got the weather, some paid programming, dealing with loss, the news, and visitors' vengeance. We're going to look at this in order. Just go down the line towards the end of the video and just see how it goes. So first, let's take a look at the weather. It looks pretty nice, relatively. It's going to storm later, but, that's nothing strange. It storms in places. Like, come on, like, it's a storm. Nothing weird here. Alright, next up is going to be the paid programming section. And this section talks about the Timber Radio, which is this little radio that basically it takes all the bad emotions that severe weather and thunderstorms put out and turns them into good emotion. via the power of these little broadcast radio towers. It uses radio frequencies made by Harbinge Technologies. But yeah, definitely look around picking that up. And really convenient that this commercial came right after the weather warning for a storm. Maybe giving people some time to go quickly grab one since the storm is on their way. But let's move on to the news. Oh, they got this. Howdy, everybody. Editor Hats here. Oh, shoot. Okay, salutations. So I recorded all the footage at like 3 a.m. and it showed from that point on in the video my speech became unintelligible. I could not edit because I was like, damn, what was I even trying to say? So I'm going to be re-recording. Bad news is I did not charge my camera overnight. Luckily, I have a pretty decent good webcam to use. It's not awful and it's not bad either. I'm just going to do the rest of the video again because you cannot tell what I'm saying. So let's cut the chatter straight to the news. So this next scene opens basically on CBC News. They're talking about Wall Street. And then it basically cuts to, you know, like an emergency broadcast saying there's going to be a severe storm in the following cities. And we know this because of the weather update that Warding is one of them. And so what happens then is at the end it says something really interesting. And it's actually cut off. It says, at 10:02 on September 28th, let it enter. Now, we don't know what this means just yet, but that is definitely something weird coming from an EMS. Like, let what enter? What is it talking about? Well, to know that, we have to keep moving forward. Warding12 does notify us that this isn't a normal EMS, and this was actually a hijacking. And before they go back to the normal programming, for those with keen eyes, you can spot this. It says, we are going to die. So it's going to be one of those storms. You know, the type that kills everyone around you. Actually, wait, that's not funny. But, you know, we could chill out. I'm sure that was a little jarring. Now we can watch Dealing with Loss. And I actually really like this portion of the video. It really reminds me of my all-time favorite horror movie, Sinister. If you haven't seen that, you should really check it out. Those of you that have seen it know exactly what I'm talking about just by looking at this. And then now look at Sinister, a scene from Sinister. And you can kind of see what I'm getting at here. It really similar, and I don't know, I really like it just because I'm kind of biased. I love Sinister. But if we keep watching, basically they made this movie in one day. Because it says this morning 3 people were killed. And if there was that morning 3 people were killed, then that means they pumped this shit out quicker than I can make a video in 1 month. And then another thing of note is it actually shows one of the bodies. No viewer discretion on the video at all. It just straight up shows a body. Sure, they try their best to block it out with the sensor, but that's still a dead body you're just showing right there. I don't know if news was different back then, but okay. And then it actually shows the footage of them dying from the 3 lightning strikes. Now, granted, it was far enough where you don't see actual people getting hit, but like still, like this is someone's family member you're kind of showing just dying on camera. And then during one of the strikes, you're able to see this black mass. Now, as to what it is, we don't know. Even by the end of the video, we kind of don't know. Just keep in mind that this thing it pops up a lot more throughout the video, and it's definitely the kind of center of everything bad happening and all the ruckus going on. Finally, let's move on to Visitor's Vengeance. This is a movie made by Harbinge Technologies. Interesting that a technology firm is, you know, making movies, but hey, whatever. I mean, it was also a collab with C.W. Atherton, which, if we look at the bottom right, we can see stands for Clark Warning Atherton, which is a person or a company, not entirely sure. And so basically by watching this, you can kind of see the camera just pans around this gloomy, dark, rural landscape until we see this. So now, once again, the Black Mass is back, and it seems to be the cause of a lot of bad things happening in Warding. Poor people, those poor guys. And basically, it's cut off by an EMS transition, which, you know, has your run-of-the-mill, spooky, scary analog horror EMS, like, don't look out the window type stuff, or don't look in a mirror. I don't think it actually says that, but it follows the same line. The only two things it really does different is it says if you have a timber radio, to get rid of that shit ASAP. And then 2, it says to stop watching Warding12, the TV channel. Then it's quickly hijacked and it begins telling you to do the exact opposite of what it told you to do previously. Like now it's telling you to keep watching Warding12. And now we can see the Visitor's Vengeance, the Black Mass towering over the city. And then it cuts to a live feed, which is a person driving a vehicle. My guess is they're trying to get out of town, because, I mean, I probably would too. On the radio, we can hear a guy basically talking about how the Black Mass is bringing like a wave, an aura of kind of agony and despair to everyone in the town, especially for those that try and get close to it, and that it's actively moving, which is pretty creepy. But before we can see too much on it, the credits roll. Now, what exactly are my thoughts on Warding12? Honestly, I think it does a lot right. Like, it's definitely, if you take all the generic, like, television channel, analog horror stuff, it's definitely above the latter half, I'd say. But a lot of things that it does has already been done around the time that it came out. Like, Local 58 came out way before this. And, you know, it seems very generic. It has a lot of stuff that a lot of other analog horror has done. You know, we got dashcam footage, we got EMS, we have, you know, channel hijackings, and then weird infomercials. Like, this is stuff we, for the most part, have already seen when this came out. So I don't really feel like it did anything too special. Now, don't get me wrong, it still has Remy's, you know, uniqueness added to it. For example, the editing, still top notch, just like the rest of Gemini Home Entertainment. Forgive me for comparing the two a lot. I mean, it's made by the same guy, and it honestly has a lot of similarities to each other. I don't know Remy personally, so I don't know if this was all the channel was supposed to have, or if maybe he abandoned the project. But if you ask me, it really looks like he kind of made it and then just kind of gave up on it, or at least wanted to move on to something else, seeing as this feels like it had more story to tell, in my opinion, but didn't do that because it only has 2 videos. So I'm guessing he moved on to make something else, you know, Gemini Home Entertainment. And if you look at this Warding12 video compared to the first Gemini Home Entertainment video, World's Weirdest Animals, you can really kind of see the improvement. For example, World's Weirdest Animals is way more unique than Warding12. You know, Warding12, as I mentioned earlier, has a lot of stuff a lot of other analog horror's already done, whereas World's Weirdest Animals, you know, it's like a documentary from the time, so it's a bit different than anything people had seen yet. And that one is also just creepier in general. I can watch that and still feel like, you know, like, ooh, like tighten up, you know, when you're watching something scary. Whereas when I was watching Warding12, I was just kind of like this, just chilling. But I think it is important to see kind of the starting off point for Remy. But you're probably wondering, like, what's your end goal with this? Why are you showing us this if you didn't think it was too entirely special? Well, I think it's really important not just to look to see how far Remy has gone, but this is kind of like my Christmas gift to you guys, hopefully to inspire you, to kind of show, like, you don't need the perfect start. I know a lot of my viewers are fans of, you know, this type of stuff, these web series, these ARGs, and etc. And I really feel like this should be showing that you don't need the perfect start, you just need to start. Because you never reach that end goal that you really want if you don't even start in the first place, you know? Remy is huge. I'd say Gemini Home Entertainment is as big as Local 58. And I don't know, I think it's just kind of important to see that even if you don't have the perfect start, or you start a little rocky, you can only improve from then on. You can only learn from any mistakes you have made. If you don't start now, that story that you've had in the back of your head, or that you've been writing down or telling your friends like, oh, I should make this, will never be out there for others to see if you don't actually make it. So I'm hoping this can kind of inspire you guys, show that, like, you know, even the people you look up to had to start somewhere. You know what I mean? I mean, me personally, I got a little lucky with Peaceful Watcher doing as well as it did. I know there's a lot of unfiction projects that just get 18 views a month. And so I'm kind of lucky that I even got coverage from Nightmind, let alone even like GPR Reads or anyone for that matter. I lucked out. And you can get a little lucky, but you can still grow just from having your story being told, as long as you do a good job and improve overall. You know, sorry, I'm getting way too deep in it, but basically, I was just hoping this could inspire those of you that want to make your own series. You know, learn how to make, learn how to edit. It's really not that hard, and then maybe you can make something on this level or more. That's about it. Merry Christmas, y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, Merry Christmas from DeadHatz and all that. I do hopefully have one more video coming out this year, and then I'm gonna be taking like a break until next year, which I know isn't saying much, seeing as this video is gonna come out literally 3 days before the next year, but we'll see, you know. But until then, behave yourselves, guys. DeadHatz out.
Oh wow, you stayed till the very end. Okay, well here's a Christmas gift. You know, first come, first serve. Steam gift card, $20. Yeah, that's right. It's all yours. You're the if you're the first one to see this. If you put the code in and it doesn't redeem, someone got here before you. But thank you for staying till the end of the video, though. But if you're the first guy and you actually got the money for this, congratulations, dude.